After moving the table out of the way and setting up my light stand, the old barn bike shop is open for business again. Let's see, so far I rebuilt the bottom bracket with a little bit of struggle and some new parts, and I fixed up the rear coaster brake hub with some old parts. What remains to be done is a new chain, a chain guard and some pedals. And then I should be able to take this old bicycle out rolling again. So welcome to the old barn, where I try to fix up my old Union bicycle before it is summer. Well, I'm back, and the first thing I need to do is get this bicycle out of my way, because I don't really need it right now. And now I can bring in my new parts without tripping over the camera. So here are my new parts. An almost complete bicycle frame. The wheels and the saddle have been repurposed to fix another bicycle, but other than that it should have all the parts I need to fix up my favorite bicycle. I got a chain guard, and I believe there's still a chain in there, and I got some brand new pedals here, although they are not very smooth, but they do not have as much play as the old ones. It even has some lights I could use, although the days are getting longer, so I'm not sure how useful those will be. Oh, this bicycle was won a few years ago, but nobody really likes the frame, so it never got used. So I'm working with basically brand new parts here. Although I do need some paint, because this Kawasaki green needs to go away. I guess I'm more of a Honda guy. Lawnmowers. Well, I looked and I don't think I can slide this off, so I will have to pry it off and hope that it will be reusable. It already got one bend. Let's make a few more. This is not going as I would have liked. Does this really have to come off? I think if I take off the crank arm, I might be able to slide it off. Let's try that before I totally destroy this thing. Well, I turned the bicycle around, and I'm now pretty certain that this trim piece does not need to come off. So I'm going to hammer that back in place, if I can. Perfect. No harm done. Maybe the crank arm doesn't need to come off. That would make this whole operation a lot easier. Because you see, there is an opening here, although this piece here might be behind the crank arm gear. And I probably need to install that on my bicycle. Well, that would suck, because I well, had a lot of trouble rebuilding the bottom bracket. Okay, let's first take this apart and then worry about the rest. Looks like I forgot one fastener. Hopefully the whole thing will fall in two pieces now. I think it does. Good. That's progress. Towards the front, something is holding this. Oh, no longer. I think it's free. Yep. It's free. Haha. And I guess now we will find out that this thing is totally not usable on my old bicycle. At least that is what I'm expecting right now. So next I'm going to take off this mounting bracket that mounts the chain guard to the frame. I'm not sure if this is necessary to remove the chain guard, but it needs to be transplanted to my bicycle anyway. These screws are terrible. I need to put a whole lot of pressure on the screw in order to keep the screwdriver in the slit. I think it's coming. Huh. I might need to drill a hole into my frame, but that's no problem. So now I'm hoping I can slide this outer piece of the chain guard over the crank arm. But I might need to, well, I might not. It is actually possible. Haha, there it is. Success! I rule. And this part needs to come forward, but I think I need that metal part as well. I might need to investigate my own frame before I go through the trouble of removing this. Because I'm starting to think that I need to search for a different chain guard. One that mounts to the frame over here. Let's first take off the chain before I worry anymore about that chain guard. And I already checked, there is no quick link. So I will have to break the chain, but that's no problem. This, by the way, is a KMC chain, and they are made, well, I believe they are made in a town rather close to the old barn. Got it. And I will buy a quick link, because putting this back together, I don't feel confident about doing that. The chain is still totally clean. It's kind of nice to work with clean parts for a change. I've decided that I will remove the crank arm. and I believe I can pry this off. It's just a plastic cover. There it is. Torx. Huh. I've never seen that before. Let's see if I have a socket that will fit on here. 16, 17. I don't know. 17 is not fitting. 15 still looks too big. This is 13, and as expected, that's not fitting. 14, right, that fits. Well, you don't see that every day. Something that needs a 14mm socket. So this is the right side of the bicycle, so it should have right hand thread. Okay, here we go. Oh, I can do this. Alright, battery is blinking. Whoa! I almost fell on top of the camera. But I got it. It's loose. And now it's time for the crank puller. And these things can be rather hard to screw in. And it's very easy to fuck up the thread in the crank. Especially on aluminium ones. This one is steel. And there's no need to plug the hole. This part here seems to be large enough to push against the bottom bracket axle. Alright, I'll try and screw this in. I need a spanner for that. It is probably not the right spanner. It's probably number 16. This is 17. But it feels good. And now I should turn turn this side. Well, why is there a rubber part on here? I don't think I used this crank puller before. It looks odd. No, not number 15. I'll get a number 16. First I needed a number 14 socket, and now I needed a number 16 spanner. It's all kind of odd. Yep, there it is. And as expected, a normal standard square bottom bracket. This plate that mounts the chain guard is sitting behind this plastic part that mounts the bottom bracket. I guess I will take the bottom bracket out as well, because I'm planning to scrap this frame anyway. And here's the tool for that. And now I need a big wrench. This is 24 and it fits. I can also fit a socket wrench but that gives the socket too much leverage. I guess I need to push down. That's what I mean. Too much leverage. And it is rather easy to fuck these plastic parts up. Okay, let's try that again. Damn it! The whole chain guard is twisting with this nut that I'm trying to get loose. Huh. Well, let's try again. What else can I do? Or I could try and turn in the right direction this time. I actually already got it loose. I did needed some help. I got somebody to stand on the steering wheel or the handlebar. Otherwise, the rear of the bicycle will be pushed down when turning. On the other side of the bottom bracket, there's actually some direction arrows, and that was rather helpful. Because as usual, left and right hand trips fucks me up. Especially since I had that little rain fort. Come on. You're sliding out of frame. Sorry about that. These plastic parts are horrible. How much thread is on this thing? It keeps going and going and going. Come on, this video is already long enough. This tool keeps wanting to come out. And still I cannot turn it by hand. Ah! I had enough from bicycles for the rest of the year. It's just twisting. It was just twisting inside. That's what you get with amateurs like me. So I'm also taking out the other side. Standing on the handlebar, trying to prevent the bicycle from tipping. Man, I hate this tool. You know what? That's better. Haha, finally. I got it. And here is the complete bottom bracket with the cups. Although I'm not sure if you can call these cups. When I was unscrewing this side, I was turning the whole bottom bracket inside this cup, and that fucked me up. Well, I'll put this away, and maybe at some point I can use it. But then I will probably have forgotten that I actually have this. And here's the mounting plate for the chain guard. I don't think I can use this. At least not without disassembling the cups on my old bicycle. And I did use some Loctite, so I'm not going to do that. So I guess I will be looking for something else, for another chain guard. Preferably something a bit more period correct. So I brought in the old bicycle for another look. And this here, that's where the bracket should be mounted that holds the chain guard. And now I look at it, I don't think it is well, technically possible, because I don't see a ridge here that will hold this plate in place. So I'm definitely not going to take this bottom bracket apart again. So here's the old chain guard that I took out of the recycle bin. And normally this bracket here attaches this thing to the bicycle frame. So I guess I will be looking for a chain guard with this type of bracket. And here you can see the mounting point on the frame. So apparently the chain is way too short for this frame. It needs at least 4 or 5 more links. And even if I move the axle by loosening up the chain tensioners, it will still be too short. So I guess I will be looking for another chain, because this one isn't fitting. That's too bad. That means I won't be able to do a test ride tomorrow. Well, I guess at least I should transplant the lights. I gotta accomplish something today. This thing shouldn't be too hard to take off without a saddle. Got it. And now the front light. I also need this bracket, so I guess the handlebar will need to come off. That wasn't very tight. Some sort of rubber ring on here. never saw that before. Now this plastic cap needs to come off, and now I need an Allen key. Well, you cannot see this, but it looks like a number 6, and I guessed right. If I remember correctly, I should whack this with a hammer. But I'm not really sure. It's been a while. Not sure if that did anything. And here's the pin that holds the headset together. It's rather greasy. Prevents rust. And now I should be able to take out the well, what's it called? Well, this thing. The steering. I don't know. The steering wheel. I don't know what to call it. Handlebar. The handlebar pin. And here's our price. Still works. Well, I'm going to disassemble the remains. I'll probably keep the fenders and maybe the front fork, and the rest can go into the recycle bin back to China. So this is what I got after I'm done with the disassembly. I'll keep the fork in case I ever crash my bicycle into a tree again, and these fenders might also come in handy. And I will also keep these commercial steel plates. Looks like 2mm thick. That might come in handy at some point. You know, I never understood why people would wear team jerseys. Pay good money to wear the team colors. I don't know. Why would you do that? Why would you pay money for team jerseys? You're not being sponsored. Sometimes I don't understand people. I guess I will wear black till they invent something darker. Now that I have this loose, because I want to install the light, I should probably also re-grease the bearings here. And this is apart from the old light. This looks rather greasy and nasty and rusty. I'll continue with my disassembly, and if anything interesting is there to show you, I'll start the camera again. Another one of those never-ending threads. Here's the lower ball cage of the headset, and this here is the upper ball cage. Well, it still looks acceptable, but I will clean this up and put in some new grease, and then I will put everything back together. So these dirty ball cages can go for a swim in the diesel. I'll clean them up later when they had a good soak. Well, I got everything cleaned up after a nice long swim, and I think it looks still okay, although there is a little bit of rust on here, and there is also some pitting in the ball races, especially the one that's in the frame, the lower one. Well, I'll put this back together with some fresh grease, and then it should last the rest of the life of the bicycle. It's probably way too much grease. Well, I'm not going to scoop it out. It'll have to come out by itself. Here's the ball cage. Beautiful. And here's the front fork. And now I need to flip the frame. Here's that part that fell out. I believe it goes in like this. Stay. Little bit of grease on here. Ah! Stay. Is it still in frame? I'll check. Stay! I had to reposition the bicycle because it was trying to get away. Here's the ball cage and the ball race, and of course I'm using way too much grease to hold everything together. Finally, there it goes. And of course this is one of those old school ball races. You cannot really put a spanner on here. A little bit too much grease. As always, it makes good rust prevention. Feels good, but I might need to adjust it later. There's the light. And now another nut. Yeah. Everything is too greasy. And now the handlebar. And of course I needed to fish out this dirty nut. And that was half of my bell. That's now on the floor. Still works. I think I like my handlebar higher. Yeah. Something's wrong. I guess there's too much damage on here because the spanner is not fitting properly. Different spanner, same size. And that one fits a whole lot better. Well, I will make a final height adjustment later when the bicycle has a chain and a chain guard again. Well, at least now it has a light. That should make the safety people happy. Installed. So now I am so safe I will probably die of boredom, or I'm getting a fine for having a flashing backlight. Anyway, doesn't cost a cent, but at some point the battery will die and I doubt that they will get replaced. I'm back from doing some basic editing, and at the moment the video is about 35 minutes long. And that's way too long for most people on the internet. So I'm stopping the video here. And I'm sorry I didn't accomplish a whole lot in this video. But I will order a new chain and a new chain guard. And then in the next video I hope to wrap this up and do a little test ride.